What's up? Yeah, what do we got? What do we got? It is like the last day of the school. You know, when they put the poo-poo cushions on the teacher's seat. You know, yeah, that kind of stuff. That's kind of stuff. Everybody dropped a pencil at the same time in the meeting. You know, all that stuff.
How far along is your draft class, Coach, in terms of where you, and it's just a mini-camp here, but how important will it be to retain what they learned?
These guys have made nothing but a really good first impression. This is, I said this before, and it's really the truth. We can feel the carryover from the way the last group came in. These guys have done the same thing. They've been on it. They've been working hard. They've been studying. They look like the guys we drafted, you know, and we're hoping to see. And it's been across the board. So it's been really positive. They're in good shape right now, and the big challenge is to send them off after next week, you know, where they stay with it and they get in the best condition of their life. So that's the challenge for us. But they've done everything we asked of them, and it's been really positive.
How do you convey that responsibility after working with the vets the last 3 days?
Well, we've been hammering them the whole time. Sorry, we've been hammering them. I must be getting soft or something. I just don't even go. I don't go for it anymore. Yeah, really, we just keep, you know, point out the great examples that we have. We've got great leadership. We've got guys that have been there and done that are willing to share their ideas and share their scars of, you know, the mistakes they've made. And we keep challenging them. But what's most important is we continue to communicate really well. So we're making sense to them, and they hear us, and they take note. And these guys are really responsible. They're going to respond in that they'll meet all of their deadlines. They'll call in. They'll do all of their stuff, and you know, to keep, so we can keep track of them. And that's all we can really ask for.
The 2 first-round picks, looks like they're doing more out here than maybe earlier next year. What have you seen out of Jackson?
Yeah, our guys did really well with them in bringing them along, because they both had hamstring issues that we were concerned about, and they had deficiencies when they arrived somewhat, and we were able to work our way through that to the point where at the end here they were able to get some full-speed work. But they got plenty of work in the format that we had, because there was a lot of walkthrough opportunities and in our crossover work. They really got a bunch, so there's no question that they're on it with their learning. They'll be challenged to perform well, but they've been able to get enough work to show us who they are and also get a chance to learn stuff. So they did really well. They're just as different as night and day as guys, but performance-wise, they're going to be able to do the things we're asking of them, and we'll continue to grow and learn them as we go. We need more information that we won't get until we get to camp.
It looks like Kevin has gotten some time in the slot. What's the thinking there?
Just he's capable of playing in there. Kobe Bryant was banged up with a toe thing that he had to take care of, and so it gave us the opportunity to take a look at Spoon inside, and so he was excited. I talked to him about it way back when, and he was all excited about it. He said, I can learn it all, I can get it, you know, and he's really positive about it. So when we gave him the chance, he jumped right on it. He is a really good football learner. I mean, he gets it, man, and it makes sense to him, and he does things naturally really well, and that expedites the process. And so we've seen this will be really good film again today to check him out. But we've seen him, you know, look pretty much in charge of the position. So we'll see how it goes.
Did you see any of that coming on?
He did wind up inside at different times. You know, he wasn't the nickel in their defense, but he wound up inside. We've seen him play on slots, and it didn't matter who he was playing. He covered everybody. You know, so he's a special cover guy. You know, his quickness and his instincts and all really lend it to he could be an effective player there.
Did have a
surgery?
No, not. We haven't heard that yet.
What was it with Kobe again?
He's got a sore toe. He's got a sprained toe that hasn't been able to respond. Sometimes they take a long time, so he's going to need the break to get back. It's not bad. It's not a bad injury. It's just bothering him enough where he can't. We're just aggravating it by putting him out there. So he did a lot of the walkthrough stuff early on, and then we backed him off even a little bit more to make sure we get a lot of quiet time on it.
You talked about not wanting to move cornerbacks.
We'll come back. We'll get there.
From one side to the other because of all the different mechanics that it takes to do both. How big of a burden would that be on a rookie to do?
Well, it kind of depends. It depends on the guy a little bit. And Spoon's played all over. You know, he's played on both sides, in and out, and all that. I'm not concerned about him. I'd be more concerned about Tariq moving. You know, just because he just hasn't had as much background time, as much play time. But we'll figure all that out. That's not even an issue. You know, it's not even a problem. I don't know. I don't have anything. I don't think he was on the injury list today, so I don't know. But are you talking about being injured?
Yeah, just he had practice.
I don't know what it is, what he's got. I don't know why he's out. He's been doing everything the whole camp, so I don't know. I might have missed that.
To elaborate what you just said, you prefer Woolen to stay where he was because he was so successful over there?
Basically, yeah, basically. But we'll see what's going on. We'll see how it goes. We have all the flexibility we need. Michael Jackson's had the best camp of anybody. He's had a great camp, and he's stepped up for the challenge of it. Had just a really productive, almost a dominant camp for us, and so that's great to see that. We need it.
Did getting Jamal and Jordan back in the building give you any better idea of an ETA for them?
A little bit, a little bit. They still got the work to do, and they're going to need every week. And both those guys are competing and racing for camp. And we'll see what happens.
Even if they're not on the field, just their presence being out here with the guys, good to see.
Yeah, it's always good to get them back here. They've been gone a while, and it's an important time for them too to get to know who we're talking to, and we've made some adjustments and changes as always, and you only get so much out of the Zoom thing, and so them being here has been really valuable.
Now that you've seen Jackson close to full speed, what makes him such a good router?
Oh man, he's really natural. He's really a natural athlete, gifted in his timing in and out of breaks and things, and his feel. He also has, which we saw this in the workout at school. He's got great change of direction in him. He's got this marvelous ability to get in and out of his turns, and so and his hands are just as natural as can be. He's really a bright football player too. It makes sense to him. We've already moved him all around. He's been inside, outside, and all kinds of stuff, and so that looks like it's just what we were looking for.
Do you have any concern about Adams being ready for the season?
No, not yet. We'll see. Let's get to camp first and see what happens. See what It may be too much to ask. I don't know. We'll see.
Was something up with Anthony Bradford at all? Or?
Yeah, he had a fender bender out here, and he just bonked his head a little bit, so we're just taking care of him. I don't know how you have a fender bender on 12 Seahawks way, but he did.
What did you see from the center position that battle?
Because it's just straight, like there's nothing. It's a hair. Well, at least when Marshawn hit the bushes, he thought it was a hairpin turn. I don't know.
Darrell Taylor.
He's doing well. He just had a little tightness. We just kept him out today.
This format of doing the minicamp and then following up with some OTAs, I think you've done it a couple of years now. What do you like about this versus just ending with minicamp?
It gives, I don't know, it's been a good rhythm for us, and really gives some of the veteran guys a chance to get out of here, and when, the ones that worked hard and did all that, we really focus on the young guys and as many guys as we can get to come back in the next couple of days. This is voluntary time for these guys. We really appreciate the fact that they came in such good numbers. It really allowed us to make progress in all areas, and so it was good stuff.
What did you see from Olu and then kind of what's going on with that Bandler Center? I know it's early.
Yeah, it's too early. It's too early to really say anything about the competition of it. But Olu looked really good. He did really well. There's no question that he can handle it. He's physically fit to do it, and smarts-wise, no problems. It's just going to be a battle, and we'll see what happens, and we'll just take our time. There's no rush on that one. He's getting a ton of work, as is Joy. We've got a good rotation going with him. He's played with the ones in and out to make sure that we see that. So we'll just play it out, but really encouraged by what he's brought to us.
Seems like we've seen a lot of turn at the nose tackle spot with bringing some guys in and stuff like that. I guess how do you feel like where that is overall?
We're all competing, we're looking, and unfortunately, when Austin got banged up, coming off his season, and he had a little wear and tear on his knee, and we had to fix him up. That was the spot where I was really counting on for him to have a chance to compete at. So he's going to be a little while getting back. So we have a chance. We're just going to keep looking.
So he had to have a surgery on his knee.
Yeah. He did have surgery. Yeah.
Pete, back to Jamal for a second. Is there areas where he needs to ramp up his training or his recovery, or benchmarks he needs to hit over the next?
Yes, there are
6
benchmarks.
weeks?
Yeah, there are strength things that he's got to get back to to full. I think range of motion is pretty good, but I think we're talking about strength right now, and it's just time. It's just time on task, and so it's really clear. And he's got really good guys working with back home, and So being here was really important so that we saw him. We've visited him a couple times down in Dallas, and so he's a great competitor. He's going to do everything he can to get it right. As soon as he can be right, he'll be right.
Did any of the undrafted guys kind of make a mark for you? It looked like we had Jonathan Soto and doing quite a bit of stuff. Is he one of those guys?
Yeah, we rarely talk about those guys, at this time of year. So, but Jonathan did a really good job. Yeah, I don't mind saying I thought he did an excellent job. He and Jake Bobo were probably the guys that did the best for us. They really stood out, and so we're fortunate that to get 2 or 3, maybe 4 guys out of that group that might have a chance to compete, to play. So it's a big deal.
You got the same 2 quarterbacks leading the way this year, but different situation for both of them. So how have you seen Gino and Drew perform?
It's interesting. You would ask because we just had a chance. Guys are. They're speaking to the team, the individual guys on the offensive side, and sharing their stories a little bit in their background as we get to know each other. And when both those guys had their chance to present, it was almost like remarkably consistent connection that they have. They really understand each other. They really have great respect for one another, and they're battling. And where Drew would look at it like maybe. Gino looked at it last year, kind of. He's ready to play, and he's just waiting for his opportunity. He's going to go for it, and Gino ain't letting it happen. And it's just a great spot for us. And unfortunately, only one guy plays, but I think both guys are in a great place right now, and we're really fortunate to have them back. It gives us great continuity, and we're really moving with the offense. We can do anything we can think of right now, and both those guys are really brilliant at what they're doing. And so the command they have gives us opportunity to really use everybody and use everything that we have. And so whether it's the one guy's in or the 2 guys in, so they both. I mean, it's a really terrific relationship. I'm really proud to tell you that, because that's not always like that, and so we're very fortunate.
This time last year, of course, Gino didn't know he was going to be the guy. Is he now taking more of a vocal leadership role? DK Metcalf told us yesterday that maybe he sensed the void there, and that's why he was more vocal last year.
Yeah. I think I would bet DK said that Gino's ready to take it. Okay. Yeah, because G is, and he's not doing any more than what we've already come to understand who he is. He did it last year. He just assumed the position when it was time and took it over, said the right stuff, did the right stuff, led in the right fashion, and he's just taking the next step. He's not going overboard. He's not trying to overdo it or be any big speech maker or anything like that. He's just playing football and bringing his heart, and so he speaks from his heart very clearly, and so that's DK. We can sense it, and so it's kind of like, okay, it's excellent the way it turned out. So I'm glad DK, and I'm sure that's speaking for other guys too. They can tell.
Did Gino put on some upper body?
He's a little stronger. Yeah, he's a little stronger. Yeah, it's not much weight gain, but he's a little stronger. Yeah, he is buffed pretty good. Looks great.
What about Mike Jackson's opportunity?
Shoot everything. Mike challenged whenever he could, all of the techniques, all of the stuff that we asked him to do, playing on both sides, inside, played some inside stuff too, but his confidence is really at all-time high for him. And I know that when he saw Tariq go down, it was important for him to step up, so that we felt secure, we'd be okay, we wouldn't, that we could carry on, and he just kind of just rose to this camp, and really through all the weeks he's been great. So he's ready to play.
Hey, Pete, on DK saying he senses he doesn't have to be more vocal, what does that say just about his maturity and where he's at now?
Yeah, well, he hasn't tried to be a speech maker. He hasn't tried to do that kind of stuff. He pretty much leads by example and looks for at opportunities. He's compelled and he says something. But you're on the right topic. He continues to mature. He continues to grow into it and recognize what's best for him to help this team, and how he responds and how he reacts and how he deals with things. Yeah, he's understanding that better than ever. And I don't know how much you got to see him, but when he was on the practice field, he was working. It was ridiculously obvious how hard he was working. I mean, because he's so gifted and he's so fast and he's so big, when he worked so intensely that, he affected everybody. And that's the message that he sends best. That's because it's undeniable, so that when he speaks, they're going to do what he says. They're going to listen. I mean, it's just assuming the leadership through, really through the effort that and the intensity that he's bringing. I couldn't ask for more. Really, I couldn't ask for more. And so he'll. What we want him to grow to is you don't want to get in situations that distract him, that keep him from being at his best. And sometimes, things from the outside can get in there, and on all players, all athletes, we all have to do that. All performers, everybody, has to deal with the distractions and the discursive kind of things that can happen. And we need to control those things. And if we control them better, and if he controls them better, he'll be at his best more. And that's what he's shooting for. And it's been really impressive. It's been really impressive.
Just to make clear on Tariq, everything's on track for him to be
yes,
ready for camp.
he's looking really good. Like his legs are so skinny that I don't even doesn't look. Well, how could you rehab him? I don't even know. I don't know. You can't. There's no muscles. It's just all just speed.
What more have you been able to learn about Julian Love in the few weeks you had him on the field?
Yeah, thanks for asking about him. He's been fantastic. He's only, I think he's 26 or something. Young kid still, young man still. But he's like he's been around forever. He's got great sense, great awareness, presence. He's totally gets football. It makes sense to him. He's an excellent communicator. He's really a gifted, smooth athlete with real quickness, and that comes from really great instincts. I mean, he's looked great. I know that it's been obvious to Quandre, that he's got a guy that really can command what's going on, and so they're sharing the duties and working together and growing, and so he's had a great another guy that made a great first impression on us.
Have you seen Bobby and Devin Bush kind of start to work together as well?
Yeah, well, they've had to. They are working together. They're developing the relationship, that those guys got to have.
Do you have anything more on Robinson or Ryan O'Neill?
Both those guys aren't right yet. They're not right yet, and it's going to be a while. I don't have a timeline for you, but they're not able to do any running yet.
Something happened to B. Jones?
He had I think he had a little hyperextension thing. He landed wrong. He's okay. He'll be fine. He looked great coming back too. Unfortunately, we were really excited about. He was really explosive and all that, but he got a little soreness in his knee that we needed to just take care of. It's not an injury, of any scope at all. He's going to be okay. So, but we expect a lot out of him.
Where do you see that? I mean,
he's in the linebacker spot. He can play inside and outside. We know that he can be a really effective special teams player for us. So he's the fastest guy we got back there. He looks really sharp.
How's Cam Young taking what you're asking?
He's doing okay. Yeah, we got a lot of guys working him. He's getting coached all around, trying to get him ready to fit in. Hey guys, what's up? We needed a big guy inside, and we got one, and he looks like he can fill the bill well. We won't know until we get into pads, though. We got to figure out really how things work for him and how he sees things and how he responds, and we'll be tweaking him the way he plays a little bit based on what he brings once we get going.
Not that that position's easy, but is that maybe a spot you don't mind in experience? He's got the size.
It is a spot the guys can play early. Yeah, they can. Because there's only so many things that can happen in there, and it's all hard down, dirty and nasty and all that, and he's definitely got all that in his background. He's played all the hard stuff, and so he'll be fine.
What'd you get out of Mario Edwards this week, having him in? Your impression on him?
God, I'm glad you asked about him too. Mario only had a few days with us. He's had some family things he's been working on. He looked really quick. He gets the game, and he understands it. I mean, he's going to be a factor. There's no question in my mind. And he's got enough. He's weighed in 287. So he's got enough versatility in his background. He's played inside and outside, played on the nose. He's done all of that. So that's just it's a real bonus for us. I was really fired up. We had to tone him down a little bit. We had to get him, with the fellas. He was out here to show who he is and what he can do and all of that. And he made a really good impression on us for sure.
He's big up top. I mean, can he be an inside guy?
Oh yeah. He can play three technique. There's no question. He's already done it. He's played plenty in there.
Zach and Kenny, obviously you knew that they could catch the ball well, but what have you seen from them?
Yeah, they're catchers for sure. Kenny's a really natural athlete. You can just see it in everything that he does. Zach does everything well. He just is a complete ball player, and he's already shown his understanding and his instincts about blocking, in the passing game, and not the physical side of it, but his assignments and his footwork and stuff like that. Those guys are. We just got to throw them out there and start handing the ball to them, see what happens, and see who produces and all. I know Ken has been really, really impressed with those guys too, and K9, and that's for a guy to say stuff about his young teammates like that, like he's come out and been outspoken about it. That's a statement. So they look really good.
Mike Morris, how did you kind of see him evolve?
Isn't this fun, man? Just keep asking me about these guys. Mike did a really nice job. No, seriously, Mike did a really nice job. He's played a little bit of 5 technique for us, but we basically kept him inside. We want to see him make that transition. He's been on the edge for most of his career, yet he has played the positions that we're asking him to play, but not as a focus spot. But now he just jumped right at it. He's different than the other guys. He looks different, plays different. His range, he's 6'6", and 297. He's going to be a real factor. And Mike's a really good athlete, and you can see he has really good timing to read line of scrimmage. And he moves really well with blocks and stuff, which is a real plus for us. And I know he'll be physical and tough. I'm not worried about that. But he needs to get in pads, and get his pads down and get make sure that a 6'6" guy can get underneath the blocks and stuff like that. But he made a really good impression, and I always like different dimension guys and guys that bring something special. He's unique. He's different than the rest of the guys, and so we'll see if we can find a good spot for him to play.
Tyler, DK, and Gino have all talked pretty highly about what D. Eskridge has done so far for you guys this offseason. Where do you see him at now, and what can he be for you guys if he's the player you think he's going to be?
D has never shown anything but athleticism, explosion, quickness. He's always shown that. He's been a guy that at the spot that's just been it's just taken a while because he's missed so much time. We've never had a consistent run with him and him on the field, and so you see the bright spots and all. But now that he's been out with us, that's why you hear guys talking about him, because when he's out there enough and he gets enough opportunities to show you, he's really explosive. He's got terrific strength. He's really got great hand-eye coordination. He's an aggressive football player. Remember, he had some defense in his background. You can tell he's real physical. We're really looking forward to his contribution, and really, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit for him, and we just need to keep him out there, and keep our fingers crossed that he stays healthy. And if that happens during this camp, he's going to be a factor. So, sure.
With all the depth and diversity you have in the DB group, are your wheels kind of turning about what this could look like come season?
Oh yeah.
To last year?
My wheels are turning. Yes, they've been turning. They ain't gonna stop either. Doesn't matter how long a vacation this is. They ain't stopping. This is really exciting. The dimensions that we have at the safety position really, really special, and with depth, because Trey Brown did really well in this camp as well, and so with the depth of with Mike and Spoon and Reek and Trey, that's a good group. Kobe's got stuff to do for us too. So, it's going to be a real battle in camp, and I hope everybody stays healthy so they can put their best foot forward and all of that. But this is as competitive as we've been in a long time, and we expect to call on those guys. They're going to be covering people. They're going to be working hard. They're going to be in matchups, and they're all the press stuff that we work so hard at and all that. These guys are going to bring it, and we'll see how much we can utilize it. But it's an area that I'm really fired up about. Yeah.
What does next week look like for you guys?
It's a passing camp. 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we'll be out throwing the ball a lot, working on the pass game stuff, pass rush stuff, really featuring the young guys in this sequence here. And Gino and Drew are going to they'll lead the charge. They'll do a nice job.
When he was a free agent, was there other guys besides Quandre lobbying to you guys to re-sign Bobby? Or just Quandre?
Oh no, I heard from everybody. And I didn't have to, because I was on the same bandwagon. I thought it was a great idea, and I talked to Bobby early on, and it's going to take some time to figure it out, But we really had the intent to get it done. It's just that it doesn't feel so right, and it makes so much sense that we just didn't need to screw it up, We just need to do it right. So he's been great. He's so grateful to the area and to the franchise and his background and history, and to reconnect like he has. It's just been as good as we could have hoped for, and so he's done a really, really good job.
The guys that that did reach out about re-signing him, did they mention specific things that they, like why they wanted to, specific things maybe they were missing?
No,
like,
not really. That was kind of like, come on, we got to get this guy back. It was just. I said, yeah, I know. That's what it was. Just really that obvious. So, I'm just really grateful that we figured it out.
Did his year away change him in any way? Do you notice anything different at all?
Well, yeah. The fact that he loved his time here, and we loved him being here. And when it came time, he had to go do something else. It gave him a chance to see the rest of the world a little bit. And so, I mean, he'll tell you. You see the gratitude that he has coming back, and how grateful he is for the being here, being part of it. The people. This is his place. He's moved in. And he belongs. And he's just part of the community now, the sports community, and really he'll be part of the corporate community too when time comes. And he's a very, very special person, and he's going to give back as much as he can in every way that he can. And it's just a great relationship. He's a great role model for guys that come through the program. We have a lot of guys here that really like being here, that have stayed, and there's a really good, almost a club of guys that Bobby's a big part of. I heard from those guys too now. It wasn't just the players. It was I heard from a lot of guys, which was great. It was anyway.
In the end, for Super Bowls, playoffs, wins, would that be, you think, your proudest or greatest legacy is what you built with guys wanting to come back and how to cherish their
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Greg. It is important to me. It's really important to me. It was important at SC, and it's important here. And what it really is, it's being willing to develop the relationships where you can show them how much you care, and they can count on you caring, and you'll be there no matter what happens forever. And I'm not doing that. It doesn't do that for me. I'm just doing it because that seems like the right way to live this life, And so we have a connection with our guys. I mean, our guys still calling. They're still calling, and they're getting after me for one thing or the other, or whatever it is, Just was with KJ and Doug and Jermaine the other night at KJ's event, and I'm really grateful for those relationships. Yeah, but I'm also happy that they understand that they can count on people, and they can trust people, and they can. There's people that will stay with them, will always be part of their world as long as they allow it to happen. To me, that's part of winning. That's part of what comes from putting it together and staying together for a long time, and having purpose in how we do things and all that. So. I'm really grateful for that. Thanks for bringing that up.
On that same vein, though, in Oakland, you helped out the communities. How much are you proud of your players helping the community up here?
I was better in LA than I was in Oakland, but I would have done it in Oakland too. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It immediately made me think of Marshawn, and so I felt like I didn't really do him right, down in Oakland. But it's just, I don't know, I'm just doing it the way it seems it needs to be done. There's something there, and there's relationships that you have a chance to engage in, and if you're going to do it, go for it, and be all there for them, and do everything you can, And I'm only, regret that I can't do more. Can't be there more available. The time in LA was really something. That was really special, and the relationships that we built, and the impact that we had. It's still there. I still relate and talk to people in the same way that we were down there with and doing things, and most grateful for that. It's probably the thing I regret the most coming up here was I wasn't able to stay connected. We had some great things going on with the Better LA, and I just couldn't keep it going. I couldn't stay connected to it enough like it needed. Stewarding and people carried it on and all that, but it was just, I don't know. That's just what we do when we're in this opportunity and we have this chance to help people. We're gonna help them.
Do you have to instill that in the players, or up here now? That's something
I don't know. Just doing it. Just doing what we do, and I'm not trying to make anybody anything. I'm just relating, and we're just doing stuff together and trying to help one another, and stuff happens.
Speaking of not doing any more.
Let's go.